Ashcroft was a small town in northern America. It was surrounded by old wooden houses, silent roads, and dense forests. From the outside, the town looked peaceful. But beneath that calm atmosphere, something dark always seemed to hide in the air. Emily Harper lived in this town. 2 years earlier, she had lost her husband Daniel in a horrifying house fire. Late one night, their home suddenly caught fire. By the time the neighbors noticed the flames, most of the house was already burning. The firefighters managed to rescue Emily unconscious from inside the house, but Daniel could not be saved. The police ruled the case as an electrical accident and quickly closed the investigation. But deep inside, Emily always carried one painful question. Was it really just an accident? Because only minutes before the fire, Daniel had seemed extremely nervous. Emily even remembered hearing him arguing with someone on the phone. But she never found out the truth.
After Daniel's death, Emily became completely isolated. She had once been a successful crime novel writer, but after losing her husband, she withdrew from the world. Most of her days were spent sitting alone in her study room, trying to finish old, unfinished stories. One day, her daughter Sophie returned home from college for summer vacation. Sophie could clearly see that her mother was slowly falling apart mentally. So she forced Emily to create an online dating profile. At first, Emily refused, but eventually, she gave in to her daughter's insistence.
A few days later, Emily met a man named Ethan Blake. Ethan was polite, calm, and strangely charismatic. He had recently moved to Ashcroft and, coincidentally, had bought the old house directly across from Emily's home. From the very first meeting, there was something mysterious about him. His eyes always seemed tired, as if they were hiding years of pain. During dinner, Ethan revealed that he had lost his wife Olivia several years earlier. One night, while Ethan was away on a business trip, a burglar broke into their house and murdered Olivia. Hearing this story made Emily's heart sink, because her own life carried a very similar tragedy. Slowly, Emily began growing closer to Ethan. But around the same time, strange events started happening in town. One night, Emily's elderly neighbor Martha suddenly disappeared. 3 days later, Martha's dead body was found near the river. The police claimed it was a robbery that had turned violent. But Emily's suspicions began pointing elsewhere, because the night before Martha disappeared, Emily had seen a black SUV parked inside Ethan's garage. The front of the vehicle looked damaged, and there appeared to be reddish stains on the bumper. Then, one night, Emily looked through her bedroom window and saw Ethan standing outside his house, staring directly toward her home. In the darkness, his face could barely be seen, only his cold, motionless gaze. A chill ran down Emily's spine. The next day, she told everything to her closest friend, Claire. Claire warned her carefully. "You barely know this man," Claire said. "Maybe he's not as good as he seems." After that, Emily started investigating Ethan further. While searching online, she discovered that Olivia's murder had never truly been solved. Even more disturbing, 2 women from Ethan's previous town had also died under mysterious circumstances. Now, Emily was almost convinced Ethan was dangerous. One night, she secretly sneaked into Ethan's house. The entire place felt unnaturally silent. As she walked through the rooms, she noticed tiny surveillance cameras installed in different corners of the house. It felt as if Ethan was constantly watching someone. Then, Emily discovered a locked door leading downstairs. After struggling for several minutes, she finally opened it and entered the basement. What she saw there made her blood run cold. The walls were covered with photographs of different women. Old newspaper clippings were scattered everywhere. Burned pieces of clothing filled dusty boxes.
And on a nearby table sat several personal belongings that clearly belonged to different people. Then Emily's eyes stopped on one particular photograph. In the picture, Daniel appeared to be arguing with someone. And standing in the corner of the photo was Claire. Emily's mind went blank. Before she could react, someone struck her violently from behind. When she regained consciousness, she found herself tied to a chair. Standing in front of her was Claire. But this time, Claire's familiar, friendly smile was gone. Her eyes were filled with something terrifying, something broken. Slowly, Claire began revealing the truth. For years, Claire had been obsessively in love with Ethan, but Ethan had never loved her back. Instead, Ethan married Olivia, and that completely destroyed Claire mentally. Her jealousy slowly turned into obsession. Eventually, Claire hired a contract killer to murder Olivia. Months later, Daniel accidentally overheard Claire speaking to that killer on the phone. Unknown to Claire, Daniel secretly recorded the conversation. When Claire found out, she panicked. Because if Daniel went to the police, everything would be over. So Claire set fire to Daniel's house. But she never expected Emily to survive that night. Even after the fire, Claire kept visiting Emily's home regularly. Not because she cared about Emily, but because she was desperately searching for the hidden voice recording. However, she never found it. Meanwhile, Ethan eventually moved to Ashcroft. The tragic irony was that Ethan still had no idea Claire was actually responsible for Olivia's death. That was when Claire created a new plan. She intentionally brought Ethan and Emily closer together because she knew Emily would eventually start suspecting Ethan. Martha had also been murdered because she accidentally saw Claire near Ethan's garage that night. Claire carefully manipulated every situation so the entire town would believe Ethan was a killer. Emily looked at Claire with trembling eyes and asked, "Why did you do all of this?" Claire answered softly, "Because I can't tolerate anyone getting close to Ethan." Then, Claire pulled out a gasoline container. She slowly began pouring gasoline all across the basement floor. Her plan was simple. Emily would die in a fire, just like Daniel did. But Claire didn't know one important thing. Before entering the basement, Emily had secretly activated the voice recorder on her phone, and the recording was automatically being sent live to Sophie's phone. The moment Sophie heard Claire's confession, she immediately called the police. Claire was only seconds away from setting the basement on fire when the upstairs door suddenly exploded open. Police officers stormed inside the house. Claire tried to escape, but suddenly Ethan appeared behind her and stopped her before she could run. In the end, Claire was arrested. Later, the police discovered Daniel's missing voice recording hidden inside a hollow section of Emily's old bedroom wall. Finally, the entire truth came out. A few months later, Ethan decided to leave Ashcroft forever. Before leaving, he looked at Emily and quietly said, "Sometimes the truth stands right in front of us, but fear forces us to suspect the wrong person." Emily stood there silently, because after all the death, betrayal, and fear, she had finally learned the truth.